Hello YouTube, how's it going? This is the crossover and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be doing a scouting report on Kansas wing Gradey Dick. So without any further delay, let's get straight into the video. The biggest strength in Gradey Dick's game is his shooting. Now Gradey is not a player that you're going to see put the ball on the floor too much. However, when he's hot, when he has a rhythm going, when he's feeling himself, you will see him utilize a pump fake, which then gets the defender to blow past him. He will rip through, take 2 dribbles, and pull up. This is a move that is generally taught by coaches to a lot of shooters early on, and it's nice to see a player at this level of this caliber utilize some of the basic moves that are taught by players around the world. Now, as far as his mechanics, Gradey has a 2-motion jump shot where he first kind of brings the ball around his forehead area, then he shoots the ball. However, this does not mean that he has bad mechanics. In fact, it means the exact opposite, where he has good elevation on his shot, a nice high release, holds his form, has good hand placement, and his feet are nice and square. I think his spot-up shooting will be the biggest asset that he provides to an NBA team from the day he walks into the NBA to the day he leaves the NBA. I think he can walk in and be one of the best spot-up shooters from day one in the league. However, there are parts of his game that do limit his offensive impact, such as his handle, where if you ask him to take more than 2 to 3 dribbles, it's generally not going to go well. He has a kind of a loose handle and is generally a bit, upright, so he can get picked off by smaller defenders, and generally he's uncomfortable if defenders are in his space. He's not going to be a guy that's going to hit too many contested shots.
Gradey is a bit of a mixed bag as far as finishing around the rim goes. In the half court, he's actually pretty decent. He utilizes a lot of different moves to get himself open. He does a good job of recognizing when his man is ball watching so that he can cut and get himself open looks. As far as his slashing goes, he does a good job attacking off the catch. As we previously talked about, he excels at being able to attack closeouts, get himself open jump shots. Well, he really likes to attack, and primarily that's really the only way he is getting to the rim in the half court. If it's not cutting without the ball, when he does have the ball in his hands, it's attacking off the catch, which is something that you really like to see out of your role players, right? However, in transition, Gradey Dick is a terrible finisher. He just doesn't do a good job of squaring up with the rim. I mean, I'm not really sure what it is exactly. He always seems to be falling away, falling back. It doesn't matter really what's going on. He's just never really stable and going up. And even when he is, as you see there, he just lacks a lot of elevation, just overall athleticism that hinders different parts of his game. Really, his finishing in transition is a big problem. And even in the half court, if it's a contested finish, it's typically not going to go well for Gradey. So that is, again, something that does limit his ceiling as an offensive player.
And even if Gradey is not going to be providing you much value in terms of his self-creation, he will make up for some of that with his 3rd to 4th tier playmaking, where he's not going to be a guy that you ask to put the ball in his hands, but he can attack closeouts and find his open man, as you can see here. He even has some pick and roll capabilities where he has this nice little side pick and roll, nice little bounce pass to feed his big man who flushes it in for the dunk. And that's it. You really like to see this for Dick, add different layers to his profile to where he can hit not only open shots but also open up opportunities for his teammates. And he's a guy who I really can see playing well off of stars on the offensive side of the floor and really be a plus offensive player for whatever team drafts.
Down to the defensive side of the floor, where one of Gradey's biggest strengths is his defensive rebounding. He does a good job of utilizing his length to come up with boards, either tipping them to his teammates or securing them himself, as you can see here. He also does a good job of grabbing contested boards, and he has a really nice habit of tipping the ball to areas where only he can get to, as you can see here against Kansas State. Tips the ball to himself in a spot where nobody else could really go and get it. However, Gradey does struggle a little bit as far as being able to contest closeouts, especially against quicker players, or really most players. I think against some other forwards or bigger guards, he does a good job, being able to stay in front, utilizing that length, right? Utilizing that body. He's not necessarily a weak defender, especially when matched up against guards, right? And if he's able to contain them and keep them in front of him, he does a good job generally. However, if he's not able to keep them in front of him and they can just attack him in space, it's not going to go well. As you can see here, his foot speed is just so slow, where his feet, it almost seems like sometimes his upper body is moving quicker than his lower body, and that's something that really hampers Gradey's value and really just his draft stock for me personally, just because he's just such a, I wouldn't say he's a strong negative as a point of attack defender, but I mean, again, look at that. He's just, his foot speed is just slow. It just seems like his feet just don't even move at times, to the point where he can be attacked in space, to where this Texas guard gets the ball back and says, let me take him one-on-one, and is able to score with relative ease. Look at how delayed Grady Dick's contest was on that shot. So it's pretty bad, right? And again, he can get attacked in closeouts like that, and it's worrisome for his translation to the next level, to where he's a guy who can get attacked in space, and it's a bit worrying. It's a bit worrying. Unlike his on-ball defense or his point of attack defense, as a help defender, Gradey Dick actually offers some value. Again, he's not the best defender, but he does a good job of picking off the passing lanes a lot, which is something that you like to see, right? As a guy who's not a good point of attack defender, to add value as a help defender. He does a great job of picking off passing lanes, as you can see here, especially when he's the weak side defender. And it's not like necessarily he's gonna like explode into the passing lane to pick off these passes, but he just puts himself in positions and does a good job anticipating, these passes ahead of time, which is something that you really like to see. Even here, that might be a foul call at the next level, but it was still nice to see him get through that screen and make that contest, right? And he can also offer some weak side rim protection at times against shot blocking guards, which is something that I really want to see more from Gradey at the next level, right? This is just a beautiful block to stop the big man from getting that alley-oop. And again, this is all just stuff that you really like to see. Again, great steal from the weak side in that situation, just being able to pick off that passing lane, get a hand on this passing, and get a hand on this pass as well. And again, if Gradey is not going to be giving you too much value as far as point of attack defense, being able to at least get to closing, get to shooters when closing out on them, right? Being able to pick off passing lanes is something that he's going to have to do to find a spot in the NBA and find consistent minutes at the next level.
With all of that being said, I think Gradey Dick is a player that projects to be a fringe starter at the next level. I think his spot-up shooting is going to bring a lot of value, really being his calling card at the next level. I think his ability to be, a third or fourth tier playmaker on the team, be able to play off other stars, attack off the dribble, take 1-2 dribbles and maybe find an open cutter, find an open man on the opposite corner, opposite wing. I think that's all things that are valuable, right, on the offensive side of the floor, but he's not going to be creating much offense for himself, and he's not going to be able to be used, coming off of screens in a multitude of ways and whatnot. So I think that definitely limits his offensive ceiling. And as far as the defense, we went over how limited he is as a point of attack defender, and I think he offers some value as a help defender, but not a whole lot, right? So I think this is a guy that's probably going to be a minus defensively. Maybe his help defense, his ability to create turnovers off the ball, helps balance that out, cushion the blow for being such a mediocre on-ball defender. But, I think all in all, he's going to be a guy who's going to be able to hit some spot-up threes, right? Maybe give you some playmaking here and there, maybe give you a couple steals off the ball. But, he's a guy that, when it's come playoff time, you need guys that are versatile, right? And I just don't think Gradey Dick is all that versatile of a player on both ends of the floor. But I think he projects to be a fringe starter, a good player who's going to provide a lot of value, mainly through his shooting for a majority of his career. So with that being said, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, please share the video with a friend. I want to keep growing the channel, keep growing the community that we have here. And again, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and have a blessed day. Take care. Peace.